Healthcare is a key component of the programs and policies of every people-centric and development-minded government. After all, a healthy people breed a healthy nation.
You cannot function when you're not healthy. When we assumed office, we realized the fact that our primary healthcare centers, which are the closest to the grassroots, were completely almost not functional. In Ogun State, we have 236 political wards. We have over 400 primary healthcare centers, but how many of them were functioning when we assumed office? People had even lost confidence in them, And part of our policy was to employ what we call a hub and spoke approach to healthcare, meaning that we must ensure that we bring healthcare to every indigene, as close as possible to every indigene, so you can perhaps walk to a PHC. And then, if your case cannot be managed at that PHC, then you are referred to a secondary healthcare facility.
In Ogun State, under the Dr. Abiodun administration, this sector has enjoyed priority attention and has been supported through various initiatives, which has led to the construction, remodeling, rehabilitation of health institutions and facilities across the state.
Right now, we have challenge of accommodation, and the place requires an expansion. So we need an added total expansion of accident and emergency.
Upon assuming office, Governor Dr. Abiodun, while on an inspection tour of some health institutions in the state, declared a state of emergency based on what he saw and promptly went to work to correct the ills.
I think the day after the inauguration of His Excellency, he decided to visit our health facilities. Olabisi Onabanjo was the first port of call. He arrived in Olabisi Onabanjo and noticed the state of dilapidation of the infrastructure, severe dilapidation, and lack of modern equipment, as well as shortage of staff. So at that point, he declared a state of emergency in the health sector. He also visited Ilaru and Ijayi Hospital at the time and actually observed the same things. So immediately he swung into action and gave a directive for the employment of 350 staff in Olabisi Onabanjo. And that was when we started the journey of renovating Olabisi Onabanjo, as well as appointing a new board for them. And the board is doing extremely well in managing the day-to-day affairs and ensuring that Olabisi is on the trajectory of growth that we expect of a teaching hospital of its caliber.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, sees this attribute of the governor as what has defined the administration's approach to the socio-economic well-being and welfare of the people of the state, as aptly captured in its Ishaya program. The quest by the governor to enhance healthcare service delivery is visible in the entire facets of the sector, with consistent commitment to also make it accessible to the people.
His Excellency's vision for the people of Ogun State and his promise to them was that he was going to provide quality, affordable, and accessible healthcare. And in the last 4 years, what our policy and strategy has been is to actually fulfill that promise. So we've approached this through the 3 tiers of the healthcare, starting from primary to secondary straight to the tertiary, and even including alternative medicine, because we do know in the climes that we're in that people could opt for an alternative method or other than the orthodox medicine. So His Excellency actually created the Alternative Medicine Board about 2021 and inaugurated the members of the board. And that attends to the people that choose to go the unorthodox way. But mainly within the health sector, our drive has been to address the infrastructural decay that we met, right from the primary to the secondary and tertiary. With regards to that, We've renovated the accident and emergency in Olabisi Onabanjo, actually completely replaced all the beds within the structure, 250 brand new hospital beds within the teaching hospital. We've also refurbished the 5 modular theatres and upgraded the intensive care unit, and also with equipment and infrastructural upgrade as well. But that would not be good enough if we don't have the staff to support that infrastructural upgrade. So what His Excellency has also done is employed over 350 healthcare workers of various cadres, from consultant right to cleaner, within the Olabisi Onabanjo within the first year, that was 2019, to ensure that when people do access our care, that they have the right health workers attending to them, and also for them to have a good experience within our care. But with the secondary facility, if we go down to that level, we've actually renovated about 6 general hospitals, starting with Ilaro. Partially renovated Ijayi Hospital, and we've done full renovation of Ibiade, Odeda, and Idiroko, and they are fully functioning. And with that, we've also equipped them and also staffing them with new medical directors, having recently been appointed to all our general hospitals.
Today, about 100 primary healthcare centers have been either built, rehabilitated, and fully equipped. Some with tricycle ambulance for ease of accessing some hard-to-reach areas.
The PHC in the health sector is the bedrock of every health delivery system. And in Ogun State, His Excellency has focused on the PHC. We have about 538 PHC, but His Excellency committed himself to renovating and upgrading, revitalizing 236 PHCs across the 236 wards. And doing that, we have actually renovated and upgraded 100 PHCs, equipped them with new beds and appropriate technology, including ultrasound. And we've trained a new cadre of ultrasound technicians to ensure that ultrasound service is provided at the PHC level for our pregnant women, because we know that this is key to the reduction of maternal and child mortality in our state. They were seen as maternity facilities, but we're transforming them into actual primary healthcare facilities where both male and female can access quality healthcare. So we're remodeling them to have male and female wards. We're also including accommodation for staff to ensure that they do not suffer from having to commute up and down. We also have included laboratories in every health centers that we have renovated, as well as ensure adequate power supply and clean water supply as well. This is to ensure that the total primary healthcare system is in place. But I'm sure you know about the fact that we've also upgraded 24-hour ambulance service. When we came, it was an 8-hour ambulance service with 5 vehicles, but we've upgraded it to a 26 vehicle fleet, and also 80 tricycle ambulances to cater for both the urban and the rural emergency services. So PHCs that are in the rural area where we've had challenges with delay, patients having delay being transported from their homes to the primary health center, or from the primary health center to the secondary facility. Now we've tried to resolve that issue by making sure that there's a tricycle stationed there to convey them from the primary health center when they're referred to the secondary facility. And that is working beautifully.
While improved budgetary allocation to the sector has remained a constant with the Dapo Abiodun administration, the state government has also adopted concept of innovative funding, private partnership participation, and other measures to keep the sector in top shape.
The budget for this year, there are further 6 general hospitals built to be renovated. And as you know, when we started, the budget was 6% for health, and the Abuja Declaration had said it had to be 15%. And the budget for this year, His Excellency has actually budgeted 12% for health sector, which is about 51 billion naira out of the budget for the entire state.
The role of health insurance scheme in making the deliverables of the sector available to the people cannot be overemphasized. Here in Ogun State, its health insurance scheme has witnessed tremendous growth under the current administration. Those who've subscribed are reaping the benefits of the scheme already.
One of the success stories of our health insurance scheme is a lady that was under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund in Ogun Waterside. And she delivered at about 11 p.m. I had triplets. They were expecting twins, but they had she ended up having triplets, and they were premature. The medical officer called us, and immediately we dispatched our 24-hour ambulance service to Ogun Waterside. And by 12 midnight, those babies were at our teaching hospital, Olabisi Banjo, and they received quality care without the mother paying a kobo out of her pocket. And some days the babies would receive drugs worth over 100,000 naira. But all that was paid for by the insurance. This is the advantage of being on an insurance scheme, because you prepay so that you do not end up being in catastrophic expenditure because of having to access healthcare services.
The way forward for that system is health insurance. Health insurance is a form of health financing mechanism. And we all keep complaining about the fact that government cannot do it alone. Resources are dwindling, human resources are leaving. But health insurance can ring-fence funds for us. And once those funds are ring-fenced, they can be used in the health sector to improve that health sector. And because of the level of poverty, because it is an aberration for out-of-pocket expenditure to be more than 30%. Currently in Nigeria, we are at 76.6%, which is a real abnormal thing. We need to bring it down. So people need to, out-of-pocket simply means that at that point of accessing healthcare, they need to put their hand in their pocket and pay for that. And you know, it determines a lot of things. The woman out there, the man out there who wakes up in the morning and knows that there's something wrong with me, first of all, think about, do I have any money in my pocket to pay when I get to that facility, be it public or private? And that determines the choices that they will make, whether I should just continue managing my body or I should now go to, everybody wants the best care. Everybody knows where the best care is. When I talk of, everybody wants to go to those Reddington, Mercy Group of hospitals and so on and so forth. We all know. But that person that decides to go to a chemist or to go to that patent medicine seller is because of his or her pockets. But insurance takes that out of the equation. With an insurance card, you don't need to now start worrying yourself whether you can afford to pay or not. So once you've paid your premium, which is a token, you now don't worry. The other aspect that people don't know is that because of that, our high out-of-pocket expenditure, people manage and manage and manage until the body says, no, this is the end of it. So that person that wakes up with headache every morning, who is just hypertensive, who just needs to be taking his drugs until the hypertension is well controlled, does not seek medical help until he comes in as a stroke patient, what we call CVA. So the money that he doesn't want to spend before, both him, the nuclear and the extended family, and even well-wishers and people in the community now end up paying for that health care.
Initially, the uptake was slow, But with time, as people saw the benefit, particularly the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, which was for the indigent, the pregnant, the elderly, and children, people saw the benefit. They saw that when they accessed our care, they got drugs for free, quality drugs for free. That when they went to our primary health centers, they met doctors, because the money, the capitation from the health insurance, we've used it to employ like 50 doctors across the state to ensure that when people do access our care, that they meet the right health professional to deliver quality care to them. So in recent times, we've actually had a group of professionals coming to us demanding that they want to join our healthcare health insurance scheme. That's going well, and we're hoping that with time, we'll reach the critical mass that will then start to fund our health system without having to recourse to the government, because that is the vision. Universal health coverage by the year 2030 is what Nigeria signed up to. And we're hoping in Ogun State that we will be one of the first to achieve that. Maybe not 2030, but in the near future.
I remember one particular incident where I stay, and I was telling this pregnant woman jokingly that she should come and get insurance, and she was like, "No, I don't need it." I said, "What if it ends up in CS?" You know Nigerians with our spirituality. God forbid me, I will not do. And she ended up, and I'm not making it up. The community had to contribute money to pay for a cesarean section, when insurance could have just taken care of it. So when you now sit down with them and explain the benefit package and how much premium, how little the token is, you see people now coming on board. So what I need people to go away with is the fact that just as car insurance has come to stay, health insurance has also come to stay. The NHIA law now makes it mandatory. So it's a matter of time until we get to that level where if you don't have health insurance, there are some basic things that will be denied from you by government.
It was a remarkable experience for this mother from Ogun Waterside, who was delivered of a set of triplets at a time she had no dime on her to spare.
Àìjàfàní ìyẹ̀wò ipò adẹ̀yìnjẹ́ lọ lọ́sibẹ̀ nù. Ìgbà tí mo tún lọ sọ́sìpítù, wọ́n tún fún wa ní àwọn oògùn. Bàbá tó náà fẹ́ gbowó gan, wọn ní kan má gbowó pé torí insurance cover wọn gbowó. Àwọn ọmọ mi náà tún strong náà, mo tún kó wọn débẹ̀, wọ́n lọ fẹ́ gbowó, wọn ní kan má gbowó torí pé a wà ní under insurance. Insurance card yìí ó wà fún everybody, fẹ́ni tó bá lè gbà. Orí kìí ṣe gbogbo èèyàn làwọn ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn kan là ń kó lọ sódò tó ń mọ̀wé. Gbọ́ mo ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé insurance card yìí ó wà òkè. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ máa ní kò dùn àkọ́kọ́ gbádà kò dùn, kò sí táwọn bá mu débẹ̀ wọn ò fáwọn lógún. Mo ní èmi mu débẹ̀, èmi fi ráàánú gbà. Pàápàá lórí àwọn ọmọ mẹ́ta tí mo bí, mo ráàánú gbà bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ fún àánú, fún oore tó tẹ̀ ṣe fún mi. Tẹ́mi gan rẹ̀ pé mo tẹ̀lé ìrora àánú yẹn gan gbà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún, òkè ayọ̀ tó tún gùn yìí náà. Ọlọ́run àtúbọ̀ bá mi mú ọ̀rọ̀ àjáládá àti àlàáfíà.
She paid 12,000 naira to access care that was worth more than 800,000 for us. It's all about them understanding that we've created a pool that with your 12,000 naira is your gateway to accessing that fund, and you can access it to as long as possible until you get well. And those are some of the things that people are still looking at. Sometimes they find it difficult to. We do cataract extraction, we do prostatectomy, and so on and so forth. But you see, when those people come back and they're happy with us, those are those successes that sustain us.
There are several others subscribing daily to the scheme, with room for more still wide open.
At the beginning, government provided free cards to some of our community leaders. With this, after the inauguration, the formal inauguration of that scheme by the governor at Cultural Center, we the Abeokuta South, we already lured into that program. Nearly 100 plus of our members are now on the HIS, and some have been given treatment with the card. Some of the cards were released to me this afternoon. I collected about 20 cards in the office this afternoon, and so we at least
For now, 100 people from this local government are already lodged into that program, and we are benefiting as much. And one thing I know is that there was a person who had a problem, I think sick, and the cost of the drug was 35,000. He was asked to pay 3,500 by showing that card. And so it means it's real. That program is real. And so it has motivated us to add some members to join us in that crusade. As I'm talking to you now, I have about 10 members who have already showed interest that they will participate in that program. So we continue to enlighten our people, we continue to educate them, so that all this program, before it's like NIN. So before everything goes another way, we have to launch to it, so that by the time they are doing that, don't worry, we are already in it. So may God continue to bless our governor.
Health is wealth, and the future of medical services in the state appears brighter and healthier.
The future is about strengthening our health system. For instance, when we arrived during this administration, we had no molecular labs. But during our COVID response, His Excellency established 2 molecular labs, and they're both still functional. However, His Excellency is now building a purpose-built molecular lab in Iyano Mortuary at the center of Abeokuta. In the complex, we also have a blood transfusion center, the first ever blood transfusion center that is being built in Abeokuta to ensure that women do not suffer from hemorrhage and die from lack of blood. So this has been centered to ensure that there's access from all parts of Ogun State, whether the Ogun Central or Ogun East or Ogun West. We also have within that complex the molecular lab that I mentioned and the microbiology lab to respond to future outbreaks. There is an emergency operations center, which is a center for monitoring outbreaks all across the state. This will be digitally enabled with technology, so whenever there is an outbreak in any part of Ogun State, we can pick it up right here in Abeokuta before it becomes a crisis. We also are focused in the future on maternal care. There are several mother and child units coming up across Ogun State. We recently actually commissioned one in Iperu General Hospital, which is a 100-bed mother and child unit. There's another one coming up in Ikene, which will be another, I think, 250-bed mother and child unit. And within Olabisi Onabanjo, there's going to be a purpose-built mother and child unit with a fetal medicine unit, first in Nigeria, because this is a specialty that is very, very new in Nigeria, where abnormalities in babies are picked up whilst in the womb, and we can deal with those abnormalities. And our hope in the future is that we can even do fetal surgery, which means operating on babies in their mother's womb before they're born to correct the abnormalities. So those are the things that we have in the future. But all this also hinges on an efficient logistics system. The current central medical store sits in a valley and it's not fit for purpose. But His Excellency is now giving us land in Okemoson to construct a pharma-grade central medical store, which is digitally enhanced, so that we can use barcodes and all the technology to ensure that we have adequate stock of medicines and also the distribution. With that, we're introducing, hopefully in the future, drones to deliver our drugs in a just on time model, which means that facilities won't be keeping drugs, but when they need it, they order it. And from Abeokuta to somewhere like Ogun Waterside will only take an hour by drone to deliver it. This would also be used to deliver blood products to ensure that if there is a woman hemorrhaging in the remote, hard to reach areas of Ogun State, that we can reach them within a short time.
Healthcare service delivery, however basic it is, remains a topmost necessity for human existence. Making same available and accessible to even those who cannot afford it is a top priority of a government desirous of the good of the people. Governor Dapo Abiodun has demonstrated an unwavering resolve to keep the bloodstream of the health sector flowing. Now, with another term in the kitty, the people are surely in for a healthier future. The journey continues.